Hey, it's Open So's Real Thoughts. Crome Yellow and I have teamed up to bring you the director series. Every month I'm going to pick one foreign film director who's coming out with a film in that month and kind of brief you on their filmic traits and style, as well as ranking their films from the worst to the best. And with Prisoners already out, this month's auteur is the French-Canadian director Denis Villeneuve. Villeneuve is a 3-time Genie Award winner for Best Director for his film Maelstrom, Polytechnique, and Incendies. And in 2010, Incendies was Canada's pick for the Oscars for Best Foreign Language Film. And Villeneuve loves putting his audience through the gauntlet, emotionally, physically, mentally, everything. And it's a challenge to get through his films. Not only does he try to push his audience to the limits, but he also pushes the storyline and makes it so intricate and so interesting. You really have to think about it for once. And that's what I love about him. He has said he is inspired by and loves telling stories about things that he fears, and that is so clear and apparent in his films as they deal with kidnappings, killings, murder, and so on and so on. And every one of these themes are so heavy-handed that it is almost impossible not to be a changed person after. So alright, here we go. Villeneuve has made many short films in his film career, all of which are utterly fantastic, and this one is no different with Next Floor, which is a 12-minute short film of what appears to be 12 opulent guests participating in this ritualistic carnage. Basically, these guests who are dressed up head to toe in this 12th century era gear, and they are just served food upon food upon food by these servants, and they are just devouring these animals. And when I say animals, I mean lions, rhinoceroses, ducks, armadillos. And so it kind of paints this portrait and shows you the grotesque abundance and consumerism that is taking place. And although they don't explain anything else about the story, it is so interesting to see this kind of idea come alive, especially with Villeneuve's vision, and it is fantastic. I actually got to see it on iTunes, which I pay for, which is so stupid because it just got released for free, which I'm gonna hook you up with the link so you guys can see it, because it is so interesting. The next film is Maelstrom, which is about a woman who is a depressed alcoholic who gets romantically involved with the man she believes is the son of the man she killed during a hit-and-run accident. And so after you watch this film, you're gonna think that Villeneuve is such a sick bastard, considering this film kind of plays out like a fairy tale princess story with the dying old fish narrating it. And as odd as that sounds, it has this sick and twisted dark humor embedded into it, and surprisingly it works. I think it's the contrast of the really bizarre and heavy-handed theme that just kind of come together to bring a lot of emotion. And with any Villeneuve film, of course, he has to have a very deep and heavy opening shot to kind of plague the mood, plague the film, and this film is no different with an abortion scene, and God forbid Villeneuve show anything else but that. And of course, I completely died, and this film is so interesting. I've never seen a filmmaker take such contrasting themes and make it work, and it really tells such a compelling and emotional, enthralling story about just rebirth and revival and kind of reinventing yourself and coming to terms with your own reality. So definitely a must-watch. Rewind Forward is another one of Villeneuve's short films, which is a documentary, and I don't even know if I can say it's a documentary because there's a lot of fabricated elements to it. But what documentary isn't fabricated? I think it's more of a short film about time and cinema, and it is so intricately structured in its storytelling that goes back and forth in time to tell a story about Jamaica on its own terms. It is so compelling. The way he decided to tell a story like this, it really challenges you as a viewer to really figure out what is going on. You do need to see it several times to understand it fully, but it is so viscerally enthralling the way he executes the entire short film. It lasts for 30 minutes, and I will post up a link. It's for free, and it's astounding, and it's one of those films you have to think so much about it, and it's so interesting the way he decided to tell the story. It's everything he does is a must-see, I swear, even his short films. Then we have Polytechnique, which I must say is one of the most important films to watch, and it is about the real life shooting that took place in Montreal Polytechnique, where a man goes into a school, specifically the engineering department, and as his way of fighting feminism, decides to shoot all the females in his sight. And as a female and as a feminist, this image and this film completely tore me apart, and it was just horrifying to watch step by step. And I never once in my life have watched a film that completely broke me down and made me burst into tears. I was just in complete shock that this film was even real, and Villeneuve decides to tell this story in a simple black and white style to kind of give you a objective view on it, and all while muting, because it is in black and white, it mutes all the frivolous details and kind of shows you for what it is and presents you the events that did happen accordingly, which is so unbelievable. And it highlights all the emotion. Every part of the film is just pure emotion, and it is. I had no words. I was just breaking down. And as far as filmmaking goes, it is such an important film to tell, especially in this kind of light, because as harrowing and as disturbing as this content is, it is so important to kind of show it through a storytelling eye and an objective eye, and tell the story the way it should have been from all sides without it being so one-sided, so part of, in the victim's perspective or the killer's perspective. And it's amazing because I could not get this film anywhere, and I had to resort to Amazon Canada. I don't think the US is allowing it, not even Netflix carries it, which is crazy. And so I bought it on Amazon Canada, and I definitely recommend it. It is just one of those films that just will blow you away. I don't know, I can't even say everyone should watch it because it's horrifying. It's just horrifying to watch. I can't even speak right now. So, but it is definitely one of those films that I think that carries on with such power, such just emotion, pure emotion. I just really had to love it for that fact, and he had so much courage to even tell this kind of story. I mean, I can't even talk right now.
Where are your sisters?
Although it was a tough call to pick between Polytechnique and Prisoners for the number 2 spot, I decided to go with Prisoners, considering its daunting premise and knit-tight screenplay provided by Aaron Guzikowski. My God, was it brilliant. And for Villeneuve's first American-produced film, it is such a feat of a film. It's just amazing, and I can easily say it is one of the best films of 2013. Definitely check out my review that I will have linked up, and it is just so brilliant, to its performances, to the production, to the story. Oh my God, I can't get over it of how amazing it is in every aspect, and I love that it is so brutally brutal. It just hits you so hard, and there are a few plot holes in the storyline, yes, but honestly, and you can mistake the drawn out storyline as being bad editing or bad storytelling or whatever, but I think that is necessary to really make you feel the dread of losing a loved one and kind of pushing you and making you challenge your own set of moralities in this kind of story, and I loved it. I loved every part of this story, and I can't wait for Villeneuve's next film with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's gonna be awesome. I loved it.
Mama.
And now for the number one spot is Incendies. In 2010, Incendies was Canada's entry for the Oscars for Best Foreign Language Film, which I don't think it won, but it really should have. It really should have. It follows the story of these twins who try to unravel the mysteries of their mother's past, and it is hands down one of the most disgustingly brutal and harrowing stories I have ever witnessed. My God, is it heavy. And it's just one of those stories that if anybody else attempted to tell, it would have come off as tacky, because there are these emotional, it seems as if there's emotional cues within the film that are forced and could have easily been misinterpreted differently. It's as if when somebody uses the Holocaust card, and it's like, how can we hate this movie? Of course we can't hate it because it's about the Holocaust. And so he uses very heavy-handed themes that would have persuaded you to like it, or could have borderline as really offensive and tacky and just corny, but he does it in a way where there's enough empty spaces that allows you to have your own interpretation and your own thoughts within it, and it really is one of the most brilliantly told films. It has this story about war and this family drama, and it is just so amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe it didn't win, and I am so ashamed that I just found out about Denis Villeneuve just this year. It's incredible the way he tells this story, and there is a twist at the end, and the journey, the emotional, physical, mental, and just everything that he takes you to finally reveal the twist at the end is worth it. Oh my God, is it worth it? And it is a journey that you have never been through, and it will just completely floor you and just kill you and break you to pieces by the end. And that's what a filmmaker should, and that's why I love him so much. He's just the type of filmmaker that I really love and adore, that can push my buttons the way I want it to, and just really give it to me, really challenge me as a viewer, and put up a mirror against my own image so I can reflect and I can become a better human being for it. And that's what cinema should, and that's what his filmmaking does to me, and that is why I am ashamed that I found out about him just this year. And yes, there are other films of his, shorts and features, that I could not get a hold of, but I will definitely get a hold of him and watch him because I love him. And yes, I can't wait for his next film, which he made with Jake Gyllenhaal, which he did before Prisoners, but I think they need to get US distributing, and they need to get on that pronto. I need to watch it now. I will meet him one day when I work at Toronto, maybe. I don't know. But yes, this is my director series, and I'm so proud to have him as my second director. And definitely wait for my next month's director, because he's a good one. I can say he's a very good one. If you want a hint, he's Spanish, but I think I just gave it away, so damn it. Okay. Anyways, thank you for listening. I love doing these series and letting you know about these filmmakers that I truly love and adore, that all have different filmic styles and films that really empower you as a person. And thank you, the viewer, for watching and listening and subscribing. And please tell your friends. I honestly would not do this if it wasn't for you guys. You guys really motivate me to do more, and I cherish and love you guys deeply. I read everything, even if it's mean comments, I read them, and I cherish those too. And so, yes, follow my blog, my Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram. I'm gonna be on my Instagram constantly once AFI Fest starts, so be up on that. And just generally, thank you so much for allowing me to share my thoughts. And so, I really love you guys and Denny. So, bye.